All right, welcome to another episode of the SNG Weekly Wrap-Up, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. First and foremost, I want to shout out my dad, Stephen Crange, the historian from our show Spurtability. Joe, who would you like to shout out today?
My father, uncles, godfather, grandfather. Very exciting day. One of my favorite days, even not as a father, because feels like it's always great weather. And
Yeah.
we're kind of lucking out today. So I'm happy. Apparently in Texas, it's not that way.
Yes, this is our second time trying to record
transition.
this. First time it just completely shut down because it's storming here. So I think my Wi-Fi went out for a minute. I want to shout out Uncle Michael too. Uncle Michael, great dad.
Yes.
Awesome
nice. Yes,
dad.
I will text him today.
And you brought this up the first time we tried to record. But I bought my dad this cool gift, kind of Father's Day, birthday gift. So shout out Uncommon Goods. They put together all of the New York Times cover articles that feature the New York Mets. You could get them for any team. Although I'm assuming, like, if you're a Diamondbacks fan, like, you probably weren't featured that many times, right? Like, it's probably a pretty small book. But the Mets one was pretty thick. It was really cool. Joe, next time you're over, you'll have to check it out. So in honor of Father's Day today, we're getting back to our rankings. We're doing a ranking of players that wore senior on the back of their jersey. It felt fitting, right? It felt like the right thing to do for Father's Day. So the weird thing, though, with this, because you asked me about Griffey, putting Griffey on, do you know that there's a contingent of people that are very upset that players wear senior on the back of their jersey?
Well, to me, this was kind of like Mandela effect, where I thought that was the only instance of it happening was Griffey Sr.
Really?
I assumed it was, and I think we thought there were more than there is.
Yes.
There's enough to do a ranking, but I do think I thought there was more, and maybe we're just missing some. There's not like a comprehensive list anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not upset about it. I love it, truthfully.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Roman numeral, any abbreviation. The only thing I've ever been upset about was they didn't let Laurent Duvernay-Tardif wear MD on the back of his jersey.
Mm-hmm. Which seems like a big misstep. You have a doctor playing in the NFL. Seems like that should be allowed.
Yeah,
I didn't understand that either. But yeah, there is a crowd of people that are upset. Well, we get upset about everything, but upset to see the SR on the back of the jersey, as if we'd get confused about whether it was them or their son playing. That's kind of the typical argument that goes on. But yeah, Griffey and Griffey both just wore Griffey, as did Tom Gordon. Well, I guess Tom Gordon's son is named Tom Gordon, so that would kind of make sense. But yeah, let's get into the ranking. I'll share my screen over there. I just always like to remind people that Tom and D Gordon are related. Okay, so here's our ranking. I've put it into these categories. We've got the most dad energy. We have had lots of dad strength, no added dad bonus, and then played like a backyard dad. I feel like those are pretty good categories, right? Would you want to change any of those?
Yeah.
Okay, so the players we have, and I did scrape the bottom of the barrel for this one, but we have Tremaine Brock Sr., we've got Devin Hester Sr., Marcus Morris Sr., Rico Gather Sr., Mohamed Sanu Sr., Steve Smith Sr., the newest senior, Xavier Tillman Sr.
Xavier Tillman, yeah.
And then Thomas Davis Sr. as well. Joe, I'll let you start on Tremaine Brock Sr. Where are you putting him on this list?
Geez, I mean, he's got to be in that fourth category now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I basically made that fourth category with him in mind. When I think of a dad playing, you have kind of two separate dads. You've got the dad strength dad, which I feel like my dad's kind of in there.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, he can still play games. He's still athletic. He still beats us at some things. But then you've got the dad that's like we'll go in the backyard and play cornhole and throw it, 20 feet past the hole. Like, just no athletic ability anymore. Plays like he's sitting in the backyard, drinking a few beers and playing a game. And that's what Tremaine Brock was like. So yeah, I think that I think that's a fitting category for him. What about Devin Hester Sr.?
So
For
this
me,
was interesting because
yeah,
I think he only wore this when he was with Baltimore. Um,
and he wasn't
so
very good at that point.
right, so this was a tough one. You can say, his dad's strength being the most elusive player in NFL history. I don't know if that's a fair, you know, description of his ability, right?
Yeah.
Your dad's strength is your crafty guy, your Nikola Jokic, you know.
Hmm.
That's
Maybe the
kind of
next person on the list. Yeah.
yeah, true. Um, so I don't think there's a bonus for him, especially because he got worse when he did put the senior on. So I do think the first two are pretty easy here.
That's the thing, and he definitely didn't play like a backyard dad. He
Yeah.
still had talent. He just didn't have the extra. Like I feel like let's just jump into Marcus Morris Sr. I feel like once that senior went on his jersey, he was playing like a new man. Like he had this extra added strength, and he could hit these shots that didn't seem possible. It seemed like he almost played without practice. Like he was kind of like a dad who would just go out and pick up a basketball and still be able to drain threes and still be able to kind of bully you down in the post.
Yeah, no doubt. And one of the most infuriating Kansas players. And another little tidbit for him, he was actually him and his brother Markeith there. They had MC and MK Morris on the back of their jerseys at Kansas. So hopefully they can play together again on the same team, and you'll see NC Morris Senior, which would have to be totally unique in sports.
Is
Um,
Markeef a senior?
I don't think he
And it
is.
just doesn't have it on the jersey? Because
I don't,
it would be great if they both had Morris Senior, because obviously Morris and Morris Senior could differentiate them. But if they
right.
even went like that far in, would be awesome.
Yeah.
Why was he so infuriating at Kansas?
Never really won the big game. And just so talented. I mean, both him and his brother were just. I mean, they still are just like positionless freak players. I hope to see them continue to succeed in the NBA because they've lasted a lot longer than I thought they would. I'm always happy to see a Jayhawk thrive. Not a lot of Jayhawks we've had on this little ranking in anything, so
No,
I'm gonna give
no,
them a shout out.
and maybe we'll have to get Chris Harris or Keep to leave on
Yeah,
for a
but a
future
lot of
ranking.
fouling out, a lot of turnovers. But their skill is top line. But you're right, he became a better shooter with the senior. I never thought he would be this type of player.
Yeah,
So
and the way he played defense on LeBron, I thought
yeah,
improved
I'll agree with
greatly.
that.
So we'll put him in had lots of dad strength. Rico Gathers Senior. This one's a tough one for me, so I'll let you go first.
I think same thing. Switching sports, I think is dad strength.
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying I can do basketball and I can do it's I don't know if he wore it on his NFL. I knew he wore it in college. Um, I secretly love Baylor. Unfortunately,
I know
I
you
just
do. It's a shame.
I love that they choke every year, and I love guys like Gathers and Torian Prince, and my guy who's that the little 3-point shooter
Oh, Makai Mason.
Heslip,
Oh,
um,
oh,
and Pierre Jackson. I think should be in the NBA. I think Pierre Jackson would be a 6-man 9 team. But in any case, Rico Gathers major dad strength. That was his only skill as a basketball player.
yeah.
Never thought he was going to be the guy to transition to football. So yeah, got to keep him there.
Is he still in the NFL?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, with
I
the
mean, you got to
Cowboys.
give him a little time here. He's
I
been
guess,
since
but it's
like
been a few
7th grade.
years. I mean, it's kind of impressive, right? That
No, it takes a
he's
while.
lasted. So yeah, I would agree with you there. I can't remember. I don't think he does have senior on his NFL jersey, but I mean, he had it in college, which
Yeah,
is almost better. Like you
which is
almost want to
cooler.
see,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to see that from guys. All right, Mohamed Sanu comes up. Mohamed Sanu Senior. I'm almost tempted to put him in the played like a backyard dad or the no added dad bonus. Like I feel like he's
Well, I
got
guess because like, it's kind of like Rico with like the two positions.
yeah, but I mean he's gotten worse, hasn't he? Since he added the senior.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if he's backyard dad category. I think he was just asked to do too much in New England. I think just did the Rutgers thing, and it just seemed like it was more fitting than it actually was. It seemed like a better idea on paper.
So what are we thinking? No added dad bonus?
Yeah, I think he's kind of tapered off. I wouldn't say I guess he has been worse. I mean, the other three guys aren't going to be on that bottom list, so I would throw him on the bottom for now.
Throw him on the played like a backyard dad?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think yes, he was probably asked to do too much in New England, but it was like even in that last bit of time in Atlanta, it was like once he put that senior on, it was like he lost his speed. His hands weren't there quite as much. He didn't have as good of route running. I don't know. I just feel like he ruined himself by putting the
Yeah.
senior, which is
Cincinnati him
unfortunate.
was great.
Yeah, since Cincinnati him was truly the best. I will say for Steve Smith Sr., he's got. I feel like he's got the most stat energy.
Yeah, it's either him or TD there.
Yeah, yeah, it's one or the other. Actually, you know what? Steve Smith might have the most dad strength, and TD might have the most dad energy because Steve Smith is just like a lunatic, and he played. It was like he became even more of a superhero once he put that senior on.
Yeah, he never really faded. I mean, even with Baltimore, I thought he was still great. Eh, Problem with him is you watch him play and you're like, how did he pull it off? And that's pretty much the
Yeah,
definition of dad strength, right?
yeah, yeah. I think we put him in the most stat energy, and we have a debate at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll put him there tentatively for now. I'll let you take Xavier Tillman Sr. because the only thing I know about him is that he has senior on his jersey. So
Yeah, well, I mean, this was another Michigan State team that ruined Tom Izzo's streak of every four-year player going to the Final Four.
hmm
So I love, again, Michigan State, my guy Cassius Winston and company. This is somebody that this was kind of like a controversial thing because Michigan State is kind of like a very blasé place, you
yeah,
know. Like Baylor, you put the senior on the jersey, it's like, all right, I know, like I think um, this was a little bit more of like an uproar with the crowd. So I think he has strength because he had the balls to do it. Um, so I'm gonna put him in the had lots of dad strength category.
yeah. I agree with you. Isn't it weird? Like why do people care if there's a senior on your jersey? What's the deal with that?
I think it's great. I think it's be proud.
Yeah, you
I
should
love it.
absolutely
I've
should.
never I've from day one. I think Steve Smith was probably the first person who I thought Ken Griffey was. Reality was Steve Smith. So
Maybe for one of our birthdays we'll do juniors or something. For your birthday, we'll do a junior ranking. All right, so we've already said Thomas Davis is going to be up here with most stat energy. We'll debate this in a second, but just say why we're putting Thomas Davis up there.
well, I think just getting injured so much and continually coming back from injuries stronger. And
Yeah.
did steroids, dads cheat,
hmm
I would say by definition, I think he is the most. And I think because of, oh, I got like the excuse thing, I just feel like he's built in for that. And he just looks older than everybody. His position is like wearing 58 and playing middle linebacker. And
He's got like a total dad bod too.
yeah, I think he's got to be it.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think Steve, I think you have the most dad strength, but I think Thomas, your teammate, has the most dad energy. Was that a little subtle shot at my dad saying that dads cheat?
Yes, it was. It
Yeah,
100% was.
I knew it.
But that's but that's why it just takes one over the top. And your dad's not an injury complainer though. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm. No,
A lot are. But the comebacks and just I feel like just tearing a ligament in your knee is just dad energy. So
And we're not saying. I mean, Rico Gathers, Xavier Tillman, those guys, Mohamed Sanu, even those guys are still young. They've still got some chance to climb the rankings here. But I think as it stands right now, Thomas Davis is our dad king. Tremaine Brock and Mohamed Sanu. Try again next time.
and a late addition too. So what a run there.
Yeah, seriously, he was the last guy like minutes before recording. Last guy added to the list. So Look at it here. We've got our Thomas Davis King. Happy Father's Day. That was good. I'm glad we did that ranking. That was one I've been dying to do for a long time. I can't get this to stop sharing. There we go.
I'm glad I learned more about Tremaine Brock, that he was a senior. I'm happy
I
about
know.
that.
Well, it almost felt like when I was reading about it, it felt like Tremaine Brock put senior on his jersey so that way people would remember he still played in the NFL and like
Yeah,
to get
that's a
one
good
last
one, too.
contract. Because like he announced it in the offseason as a free agent, I think, and then was signed. So it was good for him. We always like to see that. We always like to see the seniors on there. One thing I do want to shout out real quick. We couldn't make the schedules work out this week, but we've got a new co-host joining the show. You'll have to find out next week, but we're gonna have a third party on the show doing some rankings with us. They might even not be from this country, so there's a little tease for it. But we're excited for that for next week. But other than that, Joe, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
Talladega today.
Yes, yeah, your sport. So I'm assuming you'll be watching. I'm assuming you've bet on it.
I want to say one quick thing. I didn't bet on it, but I want to say one quick thing. I've become such a horse racing snob that I didn't even watch the Belmont yesterday.
I didn't know the Belmont took place yesterday.
I mean, I knew it took place, but I watch Belmont every Thursday and Friday. I was
So
on the beach the last
why
2
didn't
days
you watch it yesterday?
because it's like you don't, it doesn't embrace the true fan. You don't win any more money in the Belmont. The favorite won. It just. I mean, I love the Triple Crown. This isn't a real Triple Crown in my opinion. The length was different, a mile and eighth.
Were people
I
there?
didn't even watch. I mean, I was busy, but I didn't. I could have watched on my phone or could have
Yeah,
went somewhere and watched it. I didn't even think about it. It was like 8 o'clock. I was like, oh yeah, the Belmont happened.
you are a
So
horse racing snob. I didn't
yeah,
know. I didn't know it was taking place. I need to keep up on sports, I guess, better. But what were people there? Were people in the crowd?
no,
No.
no,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Again, I mean, there's no prestige to that. Really, the Triple Crown races are really about pageantry.
Hmm.
That's really it. The
Hmm.
eligibility rules are very specific, and that's cool. But these are horses that you don't really see like on a normal basis. Like I have like my favorite horses. I mean, I have favorite jockeys, but Belmont, the jockeys are. I mean, it's a very unusual place right now. But didn't
I
watch it.
it seems I don't understand it. I don't really get what you're saying. I don't see that would be like someone like not watching the Olympics because they like the prelim races
Well,
better.
no, because it'd be like if the Super Bowl was played between two teams in the NFL that didn't play at all in the regular season, basically.
Okay. I'm still watching. It's still the Super Bowl.
Fair.
Sorry. All right, let's wrap it there. Joe, wish your dad, your grandfather, your uncles, any other family you're seeing today. Wish them a happy birthday, happy Father's Day from me. I don't know what that'll mean to them, but shout out them. For me,
Oh,
I'm going to say my dad, Uncle Michael, and all the other dads I know. Happy Father's Day. And yeah, we'll be back with you next week, and there will be one more on the crew with us.